Wow, well, we've just had a big shock here at the Roscommon People because of who's just walked in here a few minutes ago. So we're joined by a very avid reader of the Roscommon People newspaper. He's here with a very special message for boys and girls in Roscommon. Ladies and gentlemen, Santa Claus.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. You're very welcome, and thank you for coming to the Roscommon People.
Well, I always love coming to Roscommon. It's a wonderful, wonderful town, and I always love coming here.
Well, we really appreciate it because you're extremely busy at this time of year, and you've made a special visit to the Roscommon People to I suppose, update young and old on how your preparations are going.
Well, yes, I suppose everything is going well. I met a child the other day, and he says to me, "How come you're out and you're not making toys?" And I said, "Well, I don't make the toys. The elves make all the toys." So yes,
Right.
I can take the time out now. The only problem I have at the moment is trying to get all the children on the good list.
Okay. How's that process going for you?
It's going well. I must say the children in Roscommon are very, very good.
Brilliant.
You know, there are a few from other parts of the world that are not on the good list, but we'll get them on before we leave.
Okay, but Roscommon children have been very good all year.
Well, I'm getting great reports from the Robin, the elves that I sent them, and of course all the schools. The teachers are so good in the schools for giving me the information.
Brilliant, brilliant. And you've just come from the North Pole to Roscommon today. So are the elves busy at work at the moment?
Yes, most of them are. I mean, they'd be there unless I get a phone call from Mrs. Claus.
Right.
And as soon as I leave, there's always one or two of them just think, okay, we'll take a day off, or we'll have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
He's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So I might get it. Sometimes I get a phone call from Mrs. Claus saying, will you just have a word with them?
Okay, so Mrs. Claus is a vital part of your whole preparation. How is she doing? How's she going this Christmas?
She is a vital part. I tell you, she's very much part, because the emails come in. I remember when the emails came in, I hadn't got a clue about the emails. But she handles all that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
And she's really, really good at it now.
And is there any special type of toys that have become very popular in recent years?
Well, this year now, a lot of drones and a lot of as a matter of fact, there's young children. There's this thing in Ireland. It's called the Late Late Toy Show.
Yeah.
And the children always change their minds of what they want after the Late Late Toy Show.
Okay.
And it's drones, it's scooters, and bikes. They're the big ones for the boys anyway. And the girls, of course, are always dolls' houses and makeup and all that kind of stuff.
Right, fantastic. And I think people are always amazed, Santa, at how you get around the whole world in one night. I mean, that must be a big challenge. I'm just wondering, what sort of a route do you take?
Are you amazed, or are the children amazed?
Well, I think everybody's amazed.
I think the rotation of the world.
Right.
Well, I go the opposite way.
Okay.
So when the world is going this way, I'm going the other way.
Okay.
So it's all got to do with circulation and where I go.
Okay, very good.
And I always start off in Australia.
Okay.
So
right.
then from there, I'll be getting to Ireland now this year, probably around maybe 10, 11 o'clock.
Oh, that early?
Yeah, that early.
Okay.
That early.
So that's a big exclusive for us here. Santa will be arriving in Roscommon around 10 or 11 o'clock on Christmas Eve night. And I know you were saying you like coming to Roscommon. I mean, is it the fact that parking is free for the reindeers and all, is that a big help?
Well, you have a mart. You have a mart in Roscommon, and that's really very handy.
The mart.
Yeah, and of course the parking is free, so I don't have to park anywhere really.
Yeah.
And I suppose I know the roofs of Roscommon very well.
Yeah. And well, look, Santa, we're thrilled that you came to have a chat with us. Maybe just before we wrap up, we want to wish you a very happy Christmas. And what would your final message be for children in Roscommon?
Well, children in Roscommon, just stay on the good list. The ones who are on the good list now are on the good list. Now, it'd take them along. It's terrible to get off there now.
Yeah.
But I want them to enjoy Christmas, because the children, they always thinking, am I on the good list? Am I on the good list? And they make a big deal, and sometimes they get very upset about it.
Yeah.
But if they get on the good list, they will stay on. And most of them are on the good list now.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I want them to enjoy Christmas.
And Santa, just one final question. I mean, is it difficult getting into the house? How, do you always go down the chimney, or how does that work?
Well, you see, if you notice the way they're building new houses now, they never ever put chimneys there.
All right.
Which is a new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have, of course, I have my magic dust.
Of course.
But I also have, which I carry all the time. Rudolph won't let me forget it either. I have this magic key that I carry.
Okay.
So this key will get me in any house.
Okay, so even if there's no chimney, you'll get in with that magic
I
key.
can get in with the magic key.
Brilliant.
And that's really good. And the other thing that caused me a lot of headaches in the early days, when I came down the chimney, was a stove.
All right, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I remember the first time I saw the stove. I had to go back up. I couldn't get out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went up to Rudolph, and it was Rudolph said to me, "Why don't you try the front door, Santa? You have the key. Go in the front door." And that's the way as well.
Okay. And I'm sure you enjoy the little treats that children leave out for you as well.
Especially the homemade ones.
Right.
And Mrs. Claus, sometimes I take some back with me back to the North Pole, and Mrs. Claus can tell whether they were bought in a shop or they were made by the children themselves.
Brilliant. Well, look at Santa. On behalf of everybody here in Roscommon, a very warm thank you for this pre-Christmas visit, and we wish you continued success with all your work in the coming days, and everybody's looking forward to your big visit.
Well, I want to thank you as well, because I think every year there's always a lovely photograph of me on the front of the paper.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And again, it's always good to keep I get the paper myself.
Great.
And I have a look at the news, and I can see what's happening in Roscommon, which is very good.
Okay, well, that's brilliant. Listen, Santa, thank you very much. So, folks, that was a very special Christmas podcast with the Roscommon people, with our special guest, Santa Claus. And we hope you enjoy that, and we wish everybody a very happy Christmas and a healthy New Year.
Merry Christmas, everybody in Roscommon and all around the world.